Hi guys, Adam here with UBTV. Today is December the 9th, which means in 3 days' time the general public will be going to the polls. And Jeremy Corbyn was here in Bristol today. He was at College Green speaking to a rally of well over 1,000 people. Maggie and Estelle were there to find out what people really thought. There's a lot of support, but also a little bit of scepticism from a few people. We'll be having a few more general election videos coming up, so stay tuned for those. Hope you enjoy it.
So I'm here with Meryl and Dawn. Meryl, you've got a lovely sign. Can you tell me a bit more about it?
Well, I made 4 of these this morning to put up against the trees because I think we need to step forward with confidence and know that this good man will be, hopefully, Prime Minister on Friday and the great things that he will bring to this country. It's very frightening how much worse it's going to get if we don't get this caring, good man with very firm principles into number 10.
Dawn, are you a fan of Jeremy Corbyn too?
Yes, I've been following his career for the last 30 years and he hasn't disappointed me yet. We need him. He's scared for us.
Fantastic to be here in Bristol. We're travelling around the whole country over the last few days of this campaign. We're in Wales yesterday, we're covering the southwest today, we're going to the Midlands, we're going to the northwest, we're going to Scotland, we're going to the northeast, we're going to the East Midlands, and we'll finish off in London because we're a party with a message for the whole country.
So I'm here with Nina, the president of Bristol JSOC, and Adam, the vice president. So Nina, do you believe Corbyn to be an anti-Semite?
Yes, I think unequivocally he's shown at this point that he is anti-Semitic. There's lots of examples when he's been calling Hamas and Hezbollah his friends, who are organisations that have dedicated themselves to wiping out the Jewish people, and he's written forewords to books which are filled with anti-Semitic propaganda and that kind of thing.
I just think in general Jewish students, Jewish people in the UK are not going to feel comfortable with Jeremy Corbyn getting into power next week. So we really hope that everyone votes right, everyone votes for what they believe in, but ultimately we do not feel comfortable with him being Prime Minister. We feel threatened for our security and we feel threatened for what we believe in.
I think it's difficult because our vote has been taken away from us. We don't feel like we have a choice in this election. Like, left and right have become obsolete to me. It's about voting where I feel safe. At the moment I don't feel safe within the Labour Party, so I've been forced to vote for other people, and that's not necessarily where my political views lie, but that's the only choice I have left.
I'll be very proudly voting for Jeremy Corbyn. I've been supporting him since he became elected leader of the Labour Party in 2015. And I'm voting Corbyn precisely because I'm a socialist, I'm an anti-racist, I'm an anti-Semite, I'm an anti-sexist, and also I'm a Jewish woman and I don't feel threatened by the prospect of a Corbyn government. I actually think as a working class Jewish woman who's a minority, I think a Corbyn government is the best hope we've got for the future of our society.
So as a Jewish woman, you don't feel threatened by Jeremy Corbyn?
No, not at all. I think the attacks on Corbyn to label him as an anti-Semite are actually a really dangerous conflation of the terms anti-Semitism and anti-Zionism. Anti-Semitism is a sick, racist position which I will pick anyone up on if I ever saw anti-Semitism in that party. However, anti-Zionism is a political position which says that actually, you know, the persecution of Palestinians based on their race and their religion is wrong. In Gaza, it is the largest open-air prison on earth where 4 million people are locked in behind metre-high walls, and they're limited with their water and their electricity. They're forced to different laws that Israeli citizens have. I think it's racism, I think it's apartheid, and I think there's nothing anti-Semitic to say that it is wrong that Palestinian kids are shot dead on a daily basis in the streets of Gaza.
Who will you be voting for in this election?
I'll be voting for the Conservative Party because I don't believe that Jeremy Corbyn represents the Jewish people of Britain whatsoever, and I believe that he's only done more to perpetuate anti-Semitism than to stop it.
Anti-Semitism is a defining issue for you in this election.
Unfortunately, we've got to a point in our society where hate on both sides has come to the fore. There is clear institutional anti-Semitism within the Labour Party, and I can't bring myself to support a party which is led by someone who is done more to spread anti-Semitism within his party. He hasn't done enough to stop anti-Semitism within his party, and it's as a result of his direct failure of leadership that anti-Semitism is spreading. I've sat in lectures recently and I've heard that allegations of anti-Semitism in the Labour Party are just exaggerated due to Corbyn's pro-Palestine stance. It's not that. There's testimonies showing the levels of anti-Semitism in the Labour Party, and quite frankly it's harrowing and it's scary. I don't know if you saw the report, the 70 testimonies in the inquiry. The stuff they're saying, it's terrifying, and there's a lot of Jews here who feel the same. Like, we're very concerned about our future in England, and I think rightly so.
So I'm here with the University of Bristol's Green Society, and I wanted to ask you guys, are you worried about a Labour government getting in?
We're not worried about a Labour government getting in on the whole, but in Bristol it's really important that we get a Green MP here who's lobbying hard in Parliament to get that climate emergency declaration built upon, and to be net zero carbon emissions by 2030. Okay,
and you guys are focusing on the Bristol West constituency, right?
That's correct, yeah.
And are you contesting Labour in the other seats?
There are certain seats in which we've stood down for Lib Dems. Obviously Bristol West is one where the reverse has happened, where the Lib Dems have kindly stepped aside for us, which is why we've really got the potential this election to push through. I just really hope we can do it.
In other seats in Bristol, like North West and South and East, our candidates are standing there, but they're not target seats, so we're not putting loads of resources into them. We'd rather Labour win those seats than the Conservatives, of course. We'd want a Corbyn government over a Johnson one, and Carla, our candidate, has explicitly said that she would support a Corbyn government, not a Johnson one.
And you're opposing Labour's airport expansion policy here in Bristol?
We think that, we know that we're in a climate emergency, and actually to reach net zero by 2050, that's not even 2030, we need to be shutting airports down. And so the fact that our local Labour council is investing in Bristol airport expansion and supporting it, we don't think this is realism, we don't think this is the right thing to do, and so we're making a statement here saying that this is not okay and we need more radical policies on the climate emergency.
For many, this is a Brexit-based election. It's been called a single-issue election. What do you think about the Labour Party's policies on Brexit?
I think that the Labour position on Brexit is a bit too weak. The Greens, in contrast, have a really strong and clear vision on what they want, on supporting a second referendum and supporting Remain, which I think really is the only way that we can overcome the divisions in our country that have been appearing. So
do you feel Corbyn was in some ways too neutral in the referendum sort of dialogue and conversation?
I think that Corbyn did support Leave in the referendum, and I think that, yes, he's been too neutral. He's normally a man of principle and of conviction, so it's quite telling that he hasn't committed to a clear stance on Brexit.